something called the 5-star shout out. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in. You can't make you know what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing out there? Good morning to everybody. Listen, we are here with another episode of The Side Jawn. I'm your host, Dennis Holmes. We are doing a special episode today called Putting It on a Pod. And today, our special guest is House of Boom. That's the name of this podcast. First name is Eric, though. But House of Boom, and a lot of times we just call him Boom. You know what I mean? As you can see from his apparel, the hat say Boom, shirt say Boom, okay? This, we talking to Boom. You understand me, ladies and gentlemen? Boom, how you doing, man?
What's going on? How you doing? First off, I'm never the side joint. I'm the main joint. All right. You know what I mean.
I'm the side. I'm the side joint.
Okay, just in case. You know what I mean. I'm just saying. Like,
let
you know
let the ladies know how you feel, though. Let them know how you feel.
I mean, I'm never number two, number one. I try to be at least. You know what I mean. But you never know. People got secrets. You know, Instagram secret accounts. You know, encrypted folders. We can keep going, but you know what I mean. I try to stay the main joint, but you know, it is what it is. You know, the first time I heard the word Jawn was in when I was in college. You know what I mean? I went to school at Lackawanna College, and I remember all the Philly cats would come in there and they'd be like, Jawn. I'd be like, what the heck is a Jawn? Young Jawn, old, or the bull. And I'd be like, all right. And now, you know, it's like.
Wait. So you went to Lackawanna College?
Yeah. I went to Lackawanna JUCO, played football there for 2 years, and heavy on the Philly out there. It was Philly and Virginia and Jersey. Those the three main, and Connecticut. Those are the three things. But Philly Jokers was always the funniest, I swear. Philly or Baltimore. No. Philly or Baltimore. Those two.
Oh, yeah. I know Baltimore was up there talking about some Yo said, like, who's Yo? Like, Yo, that's what the Yo said.
Nah, Yo.
Fuck it.
Joe.
They say, fuck it is, dummy. You know what I mean?
Yo. Like, Joe funny. I'm like, who the hell is Joe? My name is Eric, nigga. Like, nah, right. Man, it's Joe.
And then I know Philly, they called you the Bull. What's up, Bull?
What's up, Bull? Young Bull. Used to make fun of what I said. Maybe I'm a young calf. How about that? They be like,
yo. Yeah. Okay, so you went to JUCO. You played football, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, what position you played?
In junior college, I played running back.
Okay. High school, what you play?
Running back and linebacker.
Okay. Now, what was your favorite position? Was it running back?
I think I had the skill. Okay, so I'm gonna go backwards and I'm gonna go forward. I ain't play organized football until high school, and even though I was like had heart, run pretty fast and all this other stuff, I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, it's a difference between street football and Eagle Bubble, blah, blah, blah. You just be like, you get out there. This is all like, you know, revisionist history. I was like, I think I had anxiety thing, like that anxiety thing where I was just like, I can remember the play and then on defense. So it was just like run, but it was like I kind of knew what I was doing, but I was just playing street football the whole time until I got to college. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. You froze a little bit. There you go.
Because I realized, like, I could never remember the plays, but I would always make a play. But I was like, yo, I just knew just to run and hit the ball. So in high school, defense was more what I was. But I knew, like, from a standpoint of I went to a school that I would say that we didn't have a lot of numbers. We had good players, but we didn't have a lot of numbers. So I was like, I really should have been playing strong safety instead of linebacker, if that makes sense. But if
I
you don't
mean,
have,
sometimes, but I noticed that if you play running back, you play linebacker. If you
yeah,
play tight end, you play DN.
hmm
If you play quarterback, usually you play safety
right,
or corner. You know what I mean? That's what I was noticing. Wide receiver, you play D back. You know that's what I was noticing.
yeah.
Um, and
For me,
I play O line, so I had to play D line as well.
yeah, for me, I know that if I went to a bigger school or a school with more numbers, I would have probably played strong safety, which I was more which would allow me to like roam a little bit. I was fast enough to cover a little bit because I remember sometimes at linebacker I'd be like backpedaling like a motherfucker, and then I'd be trying to catch an interception. And I remember one time I read the play so good that I was back way further back than my zone, and then the safety was like mad at me because we both got to the ball at the same time, and he was like, what? And then we tipped it, then another one of our players caught the interception, and then after the play, he's like, yo, what the fuck you doing all the way over here? And I was like, I don't know, I just read the play. I was like, yo, I knew what I was doing. But I was like, yeah, I definitely should have been playing strong safety. But whatever the case may be, should have played. But whatever I did play linebacker, which I was like all county, all that stuff for. Um,
Okay.
and running back was like still new to me. But when I got to college, I was like, nah, I'm playing running back. I was like, it was like weird. Like in high school, I had like a 99-yard kickoff return, like, like, and they just threw me back there, and I was just like, all right, whatever. I picked them. You know how niggas do the thing when a ball bounces, they pick it up and then they run it. I
Right.
I essentially did that. Like they was like, damn. And I remember um running back, they would never give me the ball, which was weird, right? Because I guess they thought they kind of figured I didn't know what I was doing, which actually makes sense. But what would be funny is that every time I got the ball, I would do something amazing. And so I remember at the end of my senior year, my high school coach came up to me and was like, "Yeah, so I think I misjudged your talent," which was like the worst thing to say to a kid. He's like, "Yeah." And so when I got to college, I was like, "I'm playing running back. That's it. I'm not trying nothing else."
I feel you on that. I feel you on that one. Yeah, I also played. I didn't play organized football until high school, but I used to lie to guys when I got to high school. They was like, "Yeah, where you used to play at?" And I used to name all these teams. Yeah, when I was living with my mom, I was over here. I was with the Bearcats. When I was over here, I was with the Aztecs, and wasn't with none of them. I wasn't with none of them. That was
Yeah,
my first time playing organized football. Made the team, started everything, and they was like, "Wow!" And I started all 4 years, and it felt good though. It felt real good, but
started varsity.
yeah.
Nah, that's dope.
But I was never. I would just say I never had to push, and
Mm,
I blame myself. I never had to push to do better. Like I felt as though I was already better. I
mm,
thought I was already one of the biggest O linemen out there. I went from playing center to playing guard to playing tackle, which I
mm.
probably should have never played tackle.
Right.
As I probably should have never played tackle because I was caught in the zone. But the whole thing was, if you're a senior, this is what the seniors told me. When you become a senior, you got to play tackle, like
Mm.
because you got to anchor the whole line. I could have anchored the line from the center position though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Coach.
but that's some of the things that you learn playing organized football. Though
Yeah.
organized football was what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to play football. Football was my love. So I know where you're coming from with that. But if a running back got in the game and did not know to play, I would be mad as shit at him because
Well,
the
it wouldn't be like on offense. I wouldn't know the play or anything like that. I think they just didn't trust me because I didn't learn that decision making skills. Like when you play defense, even if you don't know the play, see ball, get ball, right? You know what I mean? Either you running to go get somebody or you going backpedal to try to break up a pass if you in zone coverage, all this other stuff. So I knew my zone coverage, like I knew what to do, curl the zone and all this other stuff. But what on offense, always had that hesitation because I was still learning how to play the position. And so it wasn't necessarily not know what you're doing, but it's like you get the ball, the hole is there, and you still trying to make your decision where to put your foot in the ground. You know that how they say like slow to the hole, speed through the hole. Like I would hesitate a little bit more than I needed to, and so there was yards there that I could have got that I didn't get. But then it was also like learning the type of player that I was. I was an emotional player, so if I was mad, it didn't matter. I would be gone. So it's just a weird thing. But I think that some of the things that I should have learned if I would have played like Pop Warner. If I would have got to high school and had that skill set already ingrained in me, I would have been a way better high school player.
Right. Like just the fundamentals. Like,
yeah.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I didn't know what a 4-point stance was.
Right.
I had no idea. It was like, get the 3-point stance. I was like, I know what that is. That's one hand down. Get in the 4-point stance. Oh, what's that? Oh, like, what are we doing here? What's a 4-point stance? I had no idea.
I'm gonna give you something that most people who didn't play with me don't know. Bro, my first year, I played defensive tackle. They did the same thing you do with a kid, what you do at Pop Warner. Like, all right, everybody starts out playing the line. So my first year, I wore number 90, and I played defensive tackle. And it was like, yo, you got heart. You're not afraid to go out there and hit somebody. And it was like, plus you fast. So it was like, we just gonna put you on the defensive line, and you just gonna get past the guards. You learn your swim move and all this other stuff. And then my sophomore year, one of the coaches I moved. So the first part of my sophomore year I spent at my original high school, and then I moved. But my second year, the coach who he became like a really good coach. He ended up taking over the program some years later. He's like a winning pro. He's one of the coaches everywhere he goes, he wins. Just because he really, really knows what he's doing. And then his sons have gone on to play D1. He got one in the chamber right now. I think he's going to Indiana or something like that. But he could go anywhere if he wanted to. And his other son is coaching somewhere. I forget. He was at Penn State. He was at a couple of different places after his playing career. But this coach really, really knows what he's doing. Shout out to Coach Bell. Coach Bell saw me. He was like, yo, at the beginning of my sophomore year, he was like, what are you doing? He's like, yo, all right, I need you to stand up. and he's like, you're going to play linebacker. And then I got my love for running back, because then they started putting me on the scout team running back. So when I moved, they asked me what position I played. I was like, I don't know. I said, I played defensive tackle. It was like, all right, whatever. And then they was like, all right, you're going to play linebacker here. And then, again, because I was playing scout team running back, they put me in there, and then they was like, yo, you run hard, bro. They was like, yo, you was like, only thing about me was, they was like, yo, you run high as hell. But he was like, yo, if you learn to get low, yo, you good. I was like, all right. And so that's how the progression kind of started.
Okay, that's good. That's good. My thing was from the whole stances, right? So I had a couple homies. They would, as defensive tackles, they would start off with one knee in the ground and one knee up, and that's how they would start to play. Me, I ain't do that. I needed to see what was going on,
right?
Because so I can't see nothing being, you know what I mean, just being, on a knee, on a bended knee. I can't see nothing. So I used to stand up and I would look around and see. And I like the number one thing I always looked at is how the offensive line communicated coming out the huddle. That was always my thing. I always look at how they communicate coming out. So when they break huddle, I always look to see who start talking to who and for what. And if I see them talking a little bit too much, that's where the ball going. Right. That was always my thing. That's where the ball going. Now, I'm gonna tell you another thing about me. I never really had a full defensive practice. I can't recite to you a defensive play off the top of my head. I just can't. I'm just letting you know that. I usually, when I got in that defensive tackle, somebody or nose guard, somebody usually told me, "Hey, Den, I need you to take over the two gap. I need you to take over the one gap. Listen, I need you to blow the center up." Like, that's usually what they told me. I'm like, all right, cool, I got it.
It's just easier it's like, yo, see ball, get ball. Like, yeah, all right, like whatever. Like you said, you had to diagnose what was going on. You had to figure out yourself, because you were in foreign territory. Like, all right, something going on. All right, them two was talking over there. So that must be where the ball is going, or they something coming back. They running a counter, so them two going this way, but somebody coming back this way. So you kind of figured it out on your own. Where offense is like nuance, little things, like running back, like again, first step. You know what I mean? Counter step. Just so many different little nuances that people don't realize that go into the position. You know what I mean? Not giving away too much, not looking in the direction that you're running, reading the line. You know what I mean? I could go on and on and on. Like if I had the brain now, obviously we all do, but if I had the brain now of all the knowledge I have of the game and could just transport it back to myself, oh my God.
Right. It'd have been a whole different thing. Like, 'cause you see the game differently.
Yes.
Once you finally stop playing and you see a lot of people start making mistakes, you like, so anybody teach you how to read gaps? Anybody teach you how to, you know what I mean, run through it? Like, it's a lot of things, man. Like I had to teach a couple things to my cousin. Like my cousin, who ended up going all state and all pub and end up being a man. But me and him had a whole argument, and he told me, he said, yo, I'm not playing offensive line. I said, because you're not playing offensive line for you. You're playing offensive line for your team.
Right.
And then you're going to show these colleges that you're durable enough to play both sides. That's what it is. I said, when you get to college, you can play strictly D-line. But in high school, you got to play both sides. And he was like, I'm not doing it, cuz I don't care what you. I'm like, cuz just listen, play both sides. And I mean, we really was fighting for a whole summer about this. He get to his championship game. He made this incredible block that sprung his running back to a touchdown. You know that mofo called me talking about something. Yo, you see me on TV making that block? I killed him. He said, I killed him. I said, I told you, dog, you got to play O-line. He was like, yeah, you was right. You was right. More colleges is calling me now that they're playing O-line. I said, I told you, because they want to see if you durable. They want to see if you a team leader, if you willing to sacrifice. They want to see all of that. Along with your SAT scores, along with how you perform in the classroom. They want to see all of that stuff, man.
Yeah, man. It's something different. By the time I got to college, that's when it got real though. Like
I didn't play in college.
It's different. Like everybody talk about, JUCO is the 13th grade. Now my JUCO, brother, I'm telling you, we had some real ones. We had some real ones from Philly. We had this God rest his soul. We had this dude played fullback, 6'2". Not 6'2". He was like probably a solid 6'1". His name was Nasir Sadat. He was from Philly. He got shot maybe like 3 years ago. I remember hearing about it or something. I was sad because I was like, yo, he was the coolest. He was cool as hell, but he was from Philly. And
what year did you go to JUCO? What year was this?
I was there 03 to 05.
Okay, all right. I was 03 was my senior year. I graduated in 04.
Okay. So we had I think he was from like Germantown or something like that. Somewhere that area, something like that. Okay. He had a brother too. I swear to you. I don't know what happened to his brother. I remember he was there his first year. It was the second year. I forget what it was. It was our first year or second year. His name was Angel. I have seen a lot of players. This joker was Ray Lewis in the flesh. This dude, when he was on our team in JUCO, I swear we was winning every game. He made every damn tackle. He was on point. He was everything. I remember he went home for one weekend and he got in trouble, and then he got kicked off the team, and then the whole season changed after that. This dude was like, he was it. He was going. If he would have made it, he would have been somebody you heard about. I promise you. He would have got to the league. He was like that. We had a couple jokers that was from your area though. But JUCO was different. I had never played against a 6'7" defensive end. You know what I mean? A legit 6'7" defensive end. We had guys going to university. So the year before I came, 2 years before we came, that's when they had like Brian McKinney. You remember Brian McKinney from the Vikings?
Right.
offensive line. Then they had the he was the one that got in trouble for the boat thing
Right.
that with the Vikings and all that stuff. But he was a first round pick out of University of Miami. He bought us a weight room and stuff like that. We had like his cousin. We had another dude that was going to Miami, offensive lineman, Tyler McMeans. We had dudes that was going to North Carolina State, West Virginia, Michigan State. I remember just all the stuff that was going on. So we had some real ones with us, and then from some other dudes from other parts of PA that came from like real programs and stuff like that. My boy Shane, he was from Chester, the Chester area, something like that.
Okay.
It was a bunch of. We had the dude. He was from Philly, but he didn't play. We remember Kevin Jones from West Virginia who played.
Yeah, I remember Kevin Jones.
Yeah, is he from Philly or?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
We had the dude that played fullback, but he wasn't really a fullback. He was just. It was just they just put them both in the game. We had him, Greg Watson. He was legit from Philly. Like when I say legit, so when I got to JUCO, I had to step my game up. What was crazy though at JUCO, like again, I told you I went to original high school. We had a running back. We had like 4 or 5 guys from my original high school all went there. That's why I chose to go there. Now I didn't know they was up there, but then when I went on my tour, I was like, "Oh, y'all up here? This is where I'm coming because I'm comfortable. I know some people."
Was there any girls up there?
Huh?
Was there any girls up there?
In the school, yes. On in our dorm, it was all boys, but they had girls in the school. We wasn't like a military joint where you just beat, and that's probably what was a lot of Negroes down for. We probably needed that extra edge. Like, nah, I need to get out of here. Not the let me snow bunny this thing out and to have some shorty doing my homework. Da, 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 da. I'm just being honest because that's what.
No, because I'm to be honest with you. That's another thing that I said to myself. I should have went that route.
Yeah.
What I should have did was I should have got with all them girls that was becoming nurses.
Yep.
And I should have became a nurse. That's what I said.
Yeah.
We all could have been studying together.
They would have did at least for the basic joint. They would have did your work for you too. I ain't no shade, but they love the big boys too.
Yes, they do. Yeah, big dudes on campus get all the love. Yes, sir.
Love the big boys, like
yes,
you know what I mean. And they was down for the Brown. You know what I mean. I wasn't with it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna find something else. I'm gonna find me a sister. I was Umar'd out then. I was like, yo, it's mad other colleges in the area, Penn State, King's College, this college. I said we're gonna figure it out. And the craziest thing is, you 03, so you ain't too far behind me. We the first generation social media. So we had like Facebook, the original Facebook and all that other shit. And so I was like, yo. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna figure out network something, find there was a little spot they had out there called Banana Joe's. So that's where all the people, if you wanted to like club and stuff like that, that's where everybody would come to, all the different colleges. So I was on it. I ain't about to be messing with these white girls. And then probably my school only had like 5, 6 black girls total. So I was like, the pickings is slim, but we made a way. But get back to football real quick. Dude from my original high school who was like that, he had D1 offers early. This dude was playing football since Pop Warner. Like he was yoked up at 8th grade, yoked up. I ended up getting more playing time than him. And when he got to JUCO, I'm like, oh, that's like I ain't gonna lie. Yoked up. I remember first time I played football, you know how they make you do Oklahoma drill?
Yeah.
He ran me the fuck over.
No, I can honestly say nobody got me in Oklahoma drill. I can honestly say that. But me and my homie, we went to elementary school together, and he actually played organized football. So he was the first person I lined up against when I first got passed. First day of pass, he the first person I lined up against. I said, oh, I got to line up against this joker, And he used to tell me all types of stuff he was going. I was like, But I lined up against him, and I had the block for the running back, and the running back, I'm lifting his whole shoulder pads and everything up to his chin. Mm-hmm. Running back come run right to his stomach, running right over. I said, "Oh man, that's a dirty walker right there, boy."
Yeah. It's only in high school and in college. It's only about I I got like good revisionist history. I'm like, it's only about 5 people that got me. I said my boy Omar, he played like I said, he was yoked up 8th grade. My other dude, he ended up being my roommate. He got me. O'Keen, he got me. And in high school, one joker got me. Little surfer white dude got me on a crackback one time, tore my ass up because they used to run that veer offense where, like I said, the offensive lineman go one way, the running back come around, and I read that shit perfectly. I'm sitting there, I'm getting ready, I'm waiting in the hole. I'm like, and the crazy thing is, I knew the other running back because we was going the year before. We were supposed to do. Did you ever hear about this program? They got like Olympic program they used to have where you could play high school football but go overseas and play. So the other running back from the other school went to this meeting or something like that. It was like Olympics or something like that. And we knew each other from there. So it was his senior year. We going against each other. I'm on defense. I'm like, all right, I read the play perfect. I'm about to get him. And next thing I know, the reason I know this is because my coach used it as a teaching point about communication on defense. I got folded like a pretzel because I'm sitting there waiting in the hole, bro. I'm like, I'm about to get this play. I see him coming. I see the light in his eyes. He see me, and next thing you know, you see my body go, and the coach is like, "This is why you need to communicate." Because if you would have yelled crack, we would have made the play. But he slow-moed the thing. But you see how he got hit? You see how you let your team?
Y'all had tape?
Yeah.
Y'all actually did film study in high school?
Yeah.
We didn't do no film study, son. I've never done film
Every
study.
Saturday.
So I've never done film study.
Every Saturday. And the crazy thing is my senior year, my junior year, high school, we had more talent. That class had a lot of talent, but nobody liked the coach, so it kind of messed up a little. We had the high school, what's it called, varsity blues. We had a coach like that where just nobody got down with him. But to say the least, junior year we had mad talent, like, you know what I mean, even for a small school, even the better schools in our division, all that stuff, we would play them and they would lose by 7. They'd be like, oh, we gonna see y'all in the playoffs, y'all gonna be there at the end. That type of vibe. But my senior year we won one game. You know what I mean? And so you know how hard it is to get up every Saturday morning after you lost the game and to go to watch film study. Oh my God, it was terrible.
I ain't never watched film study on it, but sir, do you know what's the most? I always say this is the most embarrassing thing in high school.
What?
If you play on a Thursday and lose,
okay,
and got to come back to school that Friday.
Oh,
yo,
I never had that.
OMG. Hey, Boom.
I at least had a couple days to sleep it off. Damn.
Nah, Boom. I'm gonna tell you what's worse about it. Then because we from the newspaper era. Everybody, I don't know about I don't know about your school. My school, everybody read the paper. Okay.
Yeah, no. Everybody read the paper.
They had some stocks and bonds or something somewhere. Everybody read the paper.
Bro, I had to dig up some documents because I just got hired at this new job, and you know how you gotta go looking for stuff. I'm looking, and I'm like, dang, I still got all these old clippings and stuff like that. So I definitely came from the newspaper era. But go ahead.
Yes, you go look at the paper. Sometimes you may be like the first page in the sports section because they ain't had nothing else to write about because wasn't nothing else on. But they talk about, oh yeah, well Roxborough High lost today, 18 to nothing. Like, God dang. You know what I mean? Like, God damn, man. Then everybody look, because the day before, I don't know how y'all did in y'all school, but when it's game day, it was mandatory that you wore your jersey that day in school.
Absolutely.
Right? So all your teachers knew is game day, he gonna be leaving early. That was the thing. I don't know about anybody else's school, but Boone said it happened in his school, and he was in North Jersey. Happened in my school. I'm in Philadelphia. I don't know about everybody else's school. But game day, you wore your jersey. Everybody knew you had a game that day. The next day is Friday. You come in, yo, how was the game? We lost. You don't even want to talk about it. But see, if you lost Friday, you ain't had to hear nothing on Monday because they done forgot.
Well, my school was like a weird. They had times when they were good, decent, and then they had times when they were like, So that the expectations wasn't high, and so if we lost, it wasn't like a shocker. You know what I mean? Like but then it was like the years we had. Like again, my sophomore year when I got there, and then my junior year, the expectations were higher. Sophomore year, we had a quarterback. He went to play at UCF. So the expectations was sky high. You know what I mean? Just because we had a Division I quarterback. You know what I mean? And then after he left, the quarterback situation got muddy because we had an up and coming dude who was nice with it, but they were still trying to get him ready. And then they had another dude who hadn't played, and you know how some people be on they sit out for 3 years and they come back their senior year and want to play, and now they want all that. They want to start. They want all this and all that, and it's like, yo, you was in the band for 2 years, bro. Like you now you want to come back and start because it's your senior year. You want to do the last hurrah thing. So it was weird our junior year.
Now, me in high school, my 9th grade year, I played with an NFL pro. I played with Curtis Booner Brinkley. Okay, Brinkley? I went to elementary school with Curtis Booner Brinkley. Okay, went to elementary school with him. We went to high school together.
Where he go to college?
He went college to Syracuse.
He played running back.
Yep, running back, left Syracuse.
Yeah. I heard of him. I remember.
Went to the San Diego Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at the San Diego Chargers right when LaDainian left. So it was him and Ryan Matthews.
Okay.
And then Ryan Matthews was from he ended up being one of North Turner guys, so he ended up going from there to Minnesota.
Okay.
He ended up being a North Turner guy. At least I think he was a North Turner guy. I never really got to ask him one-on-one because I wait till I see him to see if he actually gonna sit down and do an interview or not. It's up to him. But yeah. So my 9th grade year, I got to play with him. In 9th grade, we was very good because of him. We ended up being 7-4. We didn't make the playoffs, but our Thanksgiving game, he scored 3 touchdowns in the first half. He didn't touch the ball the whole second half.
Damn.
Yeah, and every Thanksgiving we played against Roman Catholic. That's the same Roman Catholic that produced Eddie. Is Eddie Griffin? Am I saying that? It's not Eddie Griffin, is it?
I've heard of Roman Catholic before.
Yeah, he was a basketball player. I might be messing his name up right now. Listen, I just did a 12-hour shift for people out there trying to hammer me, all right? But this is Roman Catholic. We had to play them every Thanksgiving. We ain't beat them not one Thanksgiving since I've been playing it. So I'll let you know that, all right? We ain't beat them at all. We ain't beat them that year with Boona, and he ain't touched the ball the second half. And it seemed like after that, he transferred and went to West Catholic. That's what I feel like happened after that. Transferred and went to West Catholic. So that was that situation with. That was my time to play with, the NFL. The only guy I seen make it pro was Curtis Booner Brinkley. Only guy in Philadelphia I would say pro.
I would say for me, again, I told you we won one game my senior year. The beautiful thing is that I made a lot of tackles on defense, and a lot of those were against guys who were all going D1. So I had good film. You know what I mean? I was that diamond in the rough. Because I was like, wait, he going D1? I know I got a shot. I was like, again, remember I told you at the beginning, my coach told me I might have misjudged your talent. So when my senior year came around towards the end, I ain't know what I was going to do. I was like, I don't know. I want to play football in college. I ain't know what I was going to do. I think there was one. They was trying to prop up this one player, our quarterback. He was supposed to go to Syracuse. He was getting looks from Syracuse and Virginia early on. And so they were just trying to prop him up. Like, you know what I mean? Again, nobody liked this coach. So I was like, all right, this dude from this school is going to Rutgers. This dude from this school is going to this school. This dude from this school is going to this school. But I had a solid game against them. So whatever. And then my senior year, after graduating, we had the All-Star game. There's like different All-Star games. It's different levels. Like y'all have the what's it called? The Big 33. I don't know if they still.
We used to do the Big 33 with us in Ohio.
Yeah.
When I my years.
So
I never made that. I didn't make it. I didn't make the All Pub either. So
we had the governor. So our ranking system is the Governor's Bowl, which is Jersey versus New York, and then after that it's the North-South game. So South Jersey versus North Jersey, and then you get into your county games. So our county game was called the Snapple Bowl. The Snapple Bowl was Middlesex County, where I moved to, versus Union County. What happened was the year that my senior year, the North South game got canceled. I guess it was like a storm or something like that. So all the kids that
What
was
year
like,
was that?
huh?
What year was your senior year? 2002, right?
Yeah. So a lot of the kids that was going to the North South game, which was more D1 kids, like you know what I mean, ended up coming into our game. The ones that was basically closer to our side of Jersey. So some went to came to our team, some went to the other team, and I had a good ass game that game. So high school senior film plus the All-Star game is what got me to college. You know what I mean? Because they're like, yo, you out here just making solo tackles, like da da da. And the crazy thing is, like, I ran track in high school too, so I was like a buck 75 doing all this. You know what I mean? I was skinny as hell.
Okay,
But you know
so
what I mean?
so from Lackawanna, how did you get to look at Rutgers?
So what happened was I left Lackawanna, and I had a gap year where I was like, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I wanted to go to Winston-Salem State, but I also thought about just being a regular Joe, and I started working. And I actually that summer I was a guard. I did this volunteer, not volunteer. I still got paid, but it was like a thing. Like if you graduated high school in the city, they had this thing where you could be a garbage man because it's like an internship type thing, but you still got paid. And so I was doing that and that summer, and still kind of undecided. I wanted to go to Winston-Salem State. Winston-Salem State told me I could come in, and they were playing a 3-3. They were playing a 3-3-5, and they wanted me to come in and play hybrid safety. So I was like linebacker safety, because they was like, "Yo, you a running back, but we already got the state league in Russia coming in next year. So I don't know about that." So it was like, "Yo, you can come here." He's like, "You can start." He's like, the defensive coordinator is like, "You can start," but you know how pride is. Pride is like, I don't want to play defense. You know what I mean? I think I'm better than that. You know what I mean? I played JUCO ball. I had some decent runs. I still, like, my one boy told me, he's like, you don't get the ball often, but every time you get the damn ball, you break a damn long ass run. I was like, yeah. So I was like, I'm good enough. Again, it's a different measuring stick. Again, in high school, I just played against high school guys. When you go against guys that's supposed to be D1, 6'7" defensive end, this dude going there, this one doing this, and you doing your thing, especially in practice, and you seeing that every damn day, your measuring stick for yourself is higher. So in that gap year, what happened was I ended up taking a summer class at Rutgers. And then after that, I got accepted. My boy was there the year before, and I got more playing time. This is one of my best friends. I was like, man, I got more playing time than you. I said, you made it. I definitely. And I was just like, fuck it. I was like, I took the summer class, got accepted to Rutgers. This is Rutgers. The standard is high. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you ever went to a junior college, but when you try to transfer your credits from a JUCO to a Division I school, your GPA got to be way high. Like, you know what I mean? You got to be above a 3.5 or something like that, but at least back then. And then they got to take the credits. You know what I mean? They got to be able to take all your credits and stuff like that. So it was weird. So when I took that summer class, it got me on par. And then I decided to walk on at Rutgers.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Now you got the Rutgers. You did your 4 years there. How did that go? Your 4
It was
years at
short
Rutgers.
lived. The football thing was short lived, but I ended up walking on. So what happened was at that time, one of the Rutgers, he's like the tight end coach. He ended up being after a while, he ended up being the coach, head coach at Bucknell. His name was Joe Susan. He actually came to like a combine day when I was at junior college, and I had introduced myself to him. And first thing he asked me, he was like, well, why are you in junior college? Why didn't you go D1? Because he knew that the area that I was in had a lot of Division I talent. And I told him straight up, I was like, my grades. He was like, all right. He's like, if you do well, you graduate, maybe we'll consider you. So that when I first got the Rutgers, one of my other boys, he had walked on. He was like, yo, yeah, this Coach Susan, da da da. I was like, oh, Coach Susan, I remember him. I said he told me to come see him. So when I first got there, first person I said, he said, yo, did you get accepted? I said, yeah. He's like, all right. He's like, cool. So they had the preferred walk-on and then the regular walk-ons. I went to the walk-on tryout. The crazy thing about JUCO is like it gives you a competitive spirit, right? Because when you in junior college, like if you in the top 4 on the depth chart, that means you had to beat out like 15 other running backs because it's 20 of them. 20, it's like 20 running backs at your position. Any position that you get, like, you know what I mean? It's like 20 dudes at your position. So if you make it to the playing field, you Gucci, right? So at Rutgers, we had to do the walk-on tryout. When I tell you like 50 people show up, and at the end of that thing, it's probably trimmed down to like 6 people. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? So did the walk-on tryout. It was 6 of us. Actually, one of the other dudes that I went to JUCO with, he played running back too. We played together. It was me, him, like, and 2 other dudes. We did the walk-on tryout. One of my other dudes, my other dude, Rich, who was like a good friend to this day, was the only motherfucker to beat me at that walk-on tryout. We had to do one-on-ones, receiver, DB drills. That motherfucker was quick. Respectfully, I don't know if I could curse or whatever, but did that. Made the team, and it was very short-lived because after that, my mom got sick, and your attention goes otherwhere when it's your mom. Anybody else, they'll be like, nah, but it's my mom. So what can you do?
Yeah, ain't a lot you could do, man. But did you end up getting your degree?
No. Okay. Unfortunately. But I got a lot of credits on the book and books, and I still work in my field, which is photojournalism.
Okay, that's good. Now, how did you get to this podcast space? Now, this one we want to know. How did you get here? How did we get the House of Boom? We got Eric Boom South. How do we get here?
So what got me to the podcast space was simple. Again, I told you, like, I went to Rutgers, all that stuff. My mom got sick. I ended up leaving school. One, because of money, and 2, she ended up passing away. So I eventually, I found my way back to Rutgers. I studied journalism. I did about 3 more semesters, studied journalism. And what happened was, my last semester at school, I connected. A professor of mine connected me with a local publication. That publication basically was a part of our work to actually, like, we was getting paid to do real work. You know what I mean? To write real articles and stuff like that. So I wrote a couple articles for this publication, and then they hired me to be a photographer. And so I would do little. It was kind of crazy because I would do events and stuff like that. I ain't even have a real camera. I used to either have to borrow people's camera or use my phone, and just catch the good lighting, good angles, all that good stuff. So after that, then I connected with another journalist. You might know him. His name is Scoop B. He does a lot of basketball content and stuff like that. Overall, he does a lot of sports, hip hop, all this other stuff culturally. So he was like on to come up and stuff like that. And one of the last classes I took at Rutgers was a social media class. So I knew a little bit about social media, And I rapped to him like, listen, like we had worked. His mom was my 3rd grade teacher. So I knew I didn't know him, but I knew her. Huh?
Your connection is crazy.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know that. Your connection is crazy. Just
Yeah, his
knowing people
mom
like that.
ended up being my third grade teacher. So then I knew her from church. She ended up going to we all ended up going to the same church. I remember her, then I met him at later point. But then he had hit me up one time. He was like, "Yo, I see you at Rutgers doing your thing. Yo, if you ever could they if they ever got a studio up there, I'm trying to get myself out there." I was like, "I ain't got no plug, but if you need help with anything else, whatever." So me and him connected. Went to did a fashion week event, did some photos there, and he started to take off. And when he was taking off, the thing about journalism is if you're in the right spot, in the right place at the right time, you can end up in some different opportunities. And so as he was taking off, I was doing the photo stuff, helping him with his social media, like really, really, really building it. And I could tell you that even though I didn't get my degree, the craziest thing is I've been places that a degree can't get you. I promise you. Is wild, being on the floor at sitting in the press box at NBA All-Star game in New Orleans, you know what I mean? Sitting in the press box next to Frank Iasola and all those big ESPNs arguing with Stephen A. Smith. You know what I mean? We ain't got time. I would go get my box with my press credentials, and you'd be like, "Damn, bro!" Like
Listen,
going to
I,
going to it was like a Clinton Global Initiatives conference and seeing President Obama up front in person and President Clinton, all these dignitaries meeting Nelson Mandela's daughter. You know what I mean? Just having all these experiences, which is like super dope. And the craziest thing is, if I would have just went the traditional route, I would have missed out on a lot of these things because some of these experiences are things that you have to really, really climb the ladder to do. But because I was rocking
or
out with
you
Steve,
gotta,
huh?
or you gotta freelance for it.
Yeah,
That's what I was noticing. Like I really noticed that I needed to go travel more and go to like more stuff.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I don't make the type of money to just go travel and go to more stuff yet,
right.
but it's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming.
But the beautiful thing is I'm in Jersey. So guess what? If something going on in Philly, I can go down to Philly and do something. If I'm
New York.
and need to get something in New York, thing I don't been to private events with talking junk to Donovan McNabb. Got the pictures to prove it. I'm a Cowboys fan, right? So
Right.
I'm sitting up there like,
We're gonna get into that soon. We're gonna get into that soon. That's a hell of
but
a decision. We're gonna get into that soon.
But just being able to do something. So God really just opened up some doors for me that what I mean that showed me like, all right, this is still for you no matter what. I remember it's kind of funny, like, what I mean, Deshaun Jackson I got photos of him, what I mean, being at the you remember when the Super Bowl came to New York? Like,
Right.
I was
The
there at
Seahawks
media
played Denver.
Broncos versus the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I got pictures standing next to Russell Wilson. First time I met Terrell Davis, Marshall Faulk, Randy Moss, all these people that is just like I couldn't have got here no other way except for God. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, because He just opens doors for you that no, like, you know what I mean. They say God can open doors no man can, and He really can. I'm a living testament to that. All that and all this, 20, I want to say 2017. The original name was getfitradio.tv, right? So I started, like, all right, I need to start filming these experiences and stuff like that and doing different things. And so I started, the House of Boom started as getfitradio.tv. Long story, I'm trying to make a long story short because I don't want to take up too much time on this. And remember, I told you it was some time when I was away from Rutgers and away from school. There was like a 3 year gap. In that time, I got certified as a personal trainer and stuff like that. But I still always had this idea for media and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this work. You know what I mean? Fitness, media, da 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 da. So I was like, okay, started this thing called GetFitRadio.tv, where I would like go like work out with people, interview them and stuff like that. But I also had this level of celebritas where I had been working, working in the media. This is after the Rutgers stuff. And so I was like, wow, I don't want to let one thing go and I don't want to let the other thing go. And I started out that and Get Fit Radio. And my first real interview was with Jarrell Big Baby, the boxer.
Right.
So
I know
we
what
would
that
do,
is.
yeah. So I interviewed him and we did a workout after. So that's how the whole thing went. And then eventually what happened, I'm trying to speed through. I'm speeding.
He is from Jersey. I forgot about that.
Nah, he's from New York. He's from
I
the
thought he was
Bronx.
from Jersey. He always be why he be screaming Jersey?
He from the Bronx, for sure. Because I remember we went to his gym out there, stuff like that, to do the interview. But it started out as Get Fit Radio, and then eventually I was like, okay, this ain't the name that you want to rock with, and so eventually I hit one of my homegirls up. She's good with branding, and she's like, all right. Your fitness thing is Boomtown Fitness. You got this whole thing, Get Fit Radio, da da da. Why don't you make it a house? Like, all right, cool. You got all these talents within this house, right? You go in the house, you got all these different rooms, and it's like, what about? She said, think of 3 names. I was like, well, it's like, how about House of Boom? How about something else? I forgot the other 2 names, and the crazy thing is the other names I was actually going with, and she was like, you know how somebody be like, the answer's right in front of you. They be looking at you. It's like, like House of Boom. Okay. And from there, it's like I started rocking with it. But again, it was on and off because it was hard to do. Nobody knew what this social media StreamYard, all this stuff was evolving into. So I was like, all right, boom, boom, boom. My first real, like, all right, this is my first episode was 2019 when I was
Okay.
I did some did 2 of my homies pause 2 of my homies did an interview with me, and we did that. Pandemic happened. I'm speeding through a whole bunch of stuff, so there's a whole bunch of details that's missing. But after we came out of the pandemic, if we ever did, really, right? One of my homies had a space, and I was like, okay. He brought me in to do some photography work. And I was like, oh, I got this idea. I was like, I technically have a podcast. I wonder if he would let me shoot here. He was like, all right, we can work that out. Fast forward details. It was like, all right, cool. Got the space. Now I'm starting to shoot consistency. Not start and stop, not doing a splash interview here, a splash interview here, then you don't hear from me for 6 months or 3 months or whenever the next time I could get a camera person and all this and all that. And so from 2021 until now, it's just been nothing but consistency and hard work, shooting every day, shooting I remember I met you, I was like, yo, you should shoot, you should do studio. You was like, nah, man. People will say they come to your podcast and stand you up and now you beat because of the money and stuff like that. Well, I've had that happen plenty of times where I'm like 5 minutes before I'm about to start shooting, I'm like, I gotta figure something out. And luckily,
listen, we got to do it here. We got to do the same thing here.
Yeah.
But see, here me and the chocolate girl have already came up with like a second or third show that we're gonna have when our guests don't show up. You know what I mean? Me, on the other hand, I just usually come up with another show. We always got a backup show because it's been so many people that said they coming through. They'll call you to 20 minutes before 9:30. Hey, you said 9:30, right? Yeah, 9:30, baby. Be there 9:30. All right, 9:30. I'll be there 9:30. You'll never hear from. There's the motherfuckers that came on the show and just been in the background, right? And then you put them on the show and you find you hear them in the back snoring sleep.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just telling you the things that I've been through. Right. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the way your studio's set up.
Right.
It's a whole different look. I love the way you got everything going. I got to come be a guest on that. It's in that studio.
Yeah.
But when I do it, I want mine to be paid off for you.
Yeah.
I mean, videography, everything, and whatever it costs to be in the studio for that year, I want the whole year to be paid off.
Right.
And then I want to go in there and I want to actually record. I want to get people to come through. I actually want to, because there's a lot of people in Philadelphia that I want to bring through and ask, questions and get to know them and get some things from them and stuff like that. But
The
I need
studio.
a, I want to set up, that's like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, my first inspiration. I mean, the studio was the studio, but you got to bring life to the studio. You know what I mean?
Oh,
The
I got
fir-
the life.
yeah,
I got the life.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't mean to be bragging. I don't mean to be
yeah,
bragging, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if I'm bragging, but I got the life. I got
yeah.
life.
Because you want it. Like the beautiful thing about the studio that I work out of is that it's a blank canvas, but you could do a lot with it. And the one thing they respected about me is like, yo, like, damn, this dude bringing props and he doing it. They're like, yo, you're not playing with this thing. I'm not. I'm not. Like I've waited too long. It took a while to get there. Again, prior to me doing it was stop and start, but it wasn't because stop and start was like, oh, I'm a camera guy, but can I get a camera guy myself? To shoot what I need to shoot, scheduling this, that, and the third. So it's like when you have a space that you can come into that is well done, that cameras, lighting, all that stuff, I'm gonna take care of that thing. And the beautiful thing is that when I walk into that space, even if it's a blank canvas, it becomes mine in that time slot that I'm there. And the in studio space is not dead at all. You just have to take it seriously and make it worth your time. But beautiful thing about StreamYard, about IG Live, about all these platforms is that you can go live. I just got comfortable. I'm at home right now, but guess what? Recently, I'm like, sometimes I can't make it to the studio, but it's something jumping right now. It's a subject I got to hop on. All right, bet. Get out your pride. Everything ain't gonna look super crispy just because you've been used to that for the last 3 years. You got a background, you got lights, you can make something happen right here. And this is actually me jumping out here. This is just this year, but at the end of last year, the last quarter of last year, I was like, nah, I gotta do it. I gotta because it's too much stuff that I want to hop on. And I was like, and you as with the news cycle, you gotta catch something in the algorithm when the algorithm is jumping on it. You know what I mean? So if Michael Vick gets hired at Norfolk State and does his press conference on a Tuesday morning, I'm not waiting till next Sunday to do that. I got to jump on that ASAP. And honestly, my courage to do stuff like that comes from people like me, networking with people like you, networking with Jawn and Braun, and stuff like that. Where I was like, you know what, it is what it is. It don't get me wrong. Off the Top Sports has a beautiful studio in itself, everything and everything. But what I mean is the energy to just go get it. Like don't worry about if it's perfect. Don't worry about if they don't got a million cameras in there and everything like that. Make sure the content of what you're talking about is good because people will
Right.
listen. You know what I mean? And you could do the other parts later. And that's the thing that I've kind of been like got from being around y'all. Like stop worrying about everything being so damn perfect. And it comes from a place of not having and then having and then not wanting to thing. But when you building something, you just got to build it. You know what I mean? If something that ain't there, you got to find another way to do it.
Okay. So now you got the he said fuck June. So you
Mhm.
got the your audience, man.
Right?
Because you don't just talk sports on your show,
No.
right? You don't just talk sports. Now what made you hit those other avenues and not just sport? Like I see you'll make sure you'll hit those sports news.
Uh,
Like you said, when Michael Vick got the job at Norfolk State, when
yeah.
Deshaun Jackson got the job at Delaware State University.
Yeah.
Um, I see you hit those avenues. But I also see you interviewing people, that's the coaches, or I seen you interview some political people. I think they were political. Wait a minute, let me not just say it like that. I think they were political, but I seen you interview other people, and I was like, oh, it ain't just this ain't just sports with him.
Nah, so it'll probably never be, but I do know that sports is the lifeblood. It gives you content that you could tap into easily and things of that nature. But again, my experience is journalism, and I've been blessed to be around so many different people and so many different experiences that it's like it don't even matter. Like if something is trending on relationships, I got something for relationships. If something is trending in politics, I got something for that. I got people for that, and I'm like I have a platform. I'm not just sports, and I think that when you've had the journey that I've had, um why limit myself, you know what I mean, or why put myself in that box. Now you do want to give people a level of consistency when you're doing something, which is why I kind of like, oh, boom more sports. But like the House of Boom podcast is so much more, you know what I mean. Like I'll give you an example. Like um you remember Straight Outta Compton, right?
Right.
Now the social phenomenon. Again, I told you when I was outside, when I left Rutgers, I was in a different situation. Well, the dude who played Suge Knight um was a gym owner at the time. And he played Suge Knight in that movie. And before he got his big acting, but he had been acting, but it was like spot duty around that time before Straight Outta Compton came out and all that stuff. He had it was before he put his foot down and said, "I'm gonna be a full-time actor." So he's been doing acting, all this other stuff. But he had a gym first, and he's the one who got me into personal training and stuff like that. So I worked at his gym, stuff like that. You know, albeit years later, he's leading a leading cast member in Straight Outta Compton. Why would I not bring him on? You know what I mean? They ain't got shit to do with sports. I mean, he used to be like a MMA, not MMA, but like a boxer a little bit. So he has some sports background, but why not take advantage of that? You know what I mean? Somebody, even years later, everybody still remember this Compton, nigga. Like everybody remember all that, those little lines and stuff like that. He can't go nowhere without. He probably was the meanest Suge you've seen in all the Suge portrayals that there have been. So and that was a cultural phenomenon. Like I'm not gonna say it was Boys in the Hood thing, but for some people it might be. You know what I mean? What Boys in the
It's
Hood
one
was
of
for
it's one
our
of the
era.
best. It's one of the best biopics out there.
Yeah,
When
and
you think
so
about a music biopic, is one of the best ones out there.
yeah, and so I gotta take advantage of that. I gotta take advantage of these different experiences. Or if if I flip it and God rest the souls of the people that was lost last night. But if something happened in Philly, you know what I mean. That's just like general news. I should be able to hit you up and be like, yo, you trying to hop on? If I wanted to go that route, I gotta be able to be like, yo, here's a platform, yo. How's the city doing right now? What's the vibe right there? Da 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 da.
Right
That ain't
now,
got nothing to do with sports. You know what I
right
mean?
now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Right now, it's tragic. That plane just crashed last night,
Right.
right there in Northeast on Cotman Avenue, and it's really shaking the city up right now. It's really a tragic spot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I was at work. I had to work from 6 to 6, so
Right.
I was at work. I'm just now getting home 2 hours before the show started,
Right.
and people were sitting there. On my way home, I was talking to a couple people, and they were like, "I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna catch another flight." Then other people were saying, it's been two flights that done crashed
The
since
same
he been
week.
in office. He ain't been in office a month. I'm like,
Right.
man,
Bro, and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean, giving a voice, a platform to those who are in a relevant space. And the crazy thing is, what's wild is, and I know we talked about this before we hopped on or live. I worked a side hustle, and guess what? I make better money when I'm working a side hustle, when I'm doing a DoorDash, when I'm doing a Uber, when I'm doing Lyft. I actually make better money when I drive down that way because it's not in Philly itself, but like in South Jersey, it's less public transportation. It's less at night, at least. So sometimes I'm down there, or when I go down to Philly, I just get stuck down there, just making money. So I could have easily been down there and not necessarily not on no, I could have seen, but I could have been right there and been caught up in the energy of the city. You know what I mean? When that happened, and then I could have just said what it was like to be in Philly firsthand. I'm gonna be what was crazy last night reminded me it's not the same. It is just as crazy. I was in LA when Kobe died that morning, and when you told me a helicopter crashed, it was like, yo, what the fuck? Excuse my language, because you know that term. It never rains in Southern California.
Yeah.
That motherfucking morning, it was raining, and on everything. Where I was staying at, I probably stayed like maybe like 5-6. I stayed at an Airbnb. It was like maybe 5-6 blocks walking distance from Staples Center, and the I was there maybe 3 days. I came there on like a Friday, so I came there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That happened on a Sunday. That I left on a Monday. Friday and Saturday, the window, it had like this big window, right? You could see clear as day. That morning I woke up, it was so cloudy you couldn't see shit out the window. Like foggy, like foggy, like the fog was on the ground. Like to the point, because I was going to Venice Beach, Muscle Beach, to do a workout. I was out there for the fitness expo, and I had met some people. We was like, "Yo, we gonna all meet up and go to Venice tomorrow, get a workout at Muscle Beach." So I'm texting people like that I met, like, "Yo, I don't know, y'all still trying to do it?" It's like it's not really raining; it's just foggy as hell right now, but we still gonna go. And I'm like, "You sure?" Because I couldn't even see it like 10 yards in front of me out the window. But like by the time I got moving, it had cleared up. We on the way to the beach. I'm in a lift. You know what I mean? That's how much Kobe meant to the city. You know what I mean? People don't even speak English. And I hear the lift driver like, oh no, Kobe. Like, Kobe, what? What are you talking about? Like he listening to some Spanish channel, whatever. I'm like, yo, that's wild. I'm like, I don't know. And then you pick up your phone, that first post come, then the next post come, back to back to back to back to back. I'm like, damn. Now I know what he's talking about. Like, oh, Kobe Bryant. That's what you was talking about. I get out.
I heard the stories that Rick Fox was flying the helicopter.
Yeah, the stories was crazy. First, it was just Kobe. Then Kobe and the whole family. Then Kobe and all these other people was dying. So we get off. I get out. Venice Beach got this big ass boardwalk, and you remember that scene in the Matrix where like they walking and then Morpheus just makes everybody freeze, like stop the program. Right. That's how that shit looked on the beach. It was like everybody froze and everybody was looking down on their phone, and then it was like press play, and then everybody looked up. And this lady, I'm at this vendor, so they have like outdoor vendors, like where they have like the canopy and shit like that, and like people selling T-shirts and stuff like that. This white lady like start like hysterically like, "Oh my God, Kobe Bryant just died. Do you have a Kobe Bryant T-shirt or something like that?" She ain't know what to do. I'm looking, I'm like, that's crazy. Like I had never. It was the 110% Matrix moment, like you know what I mean. And I remember being there, going down to the area, the workout area. And everybody was just like, nobody wanted to work out. Everybody was just sitting around talking conspiracy theories. And then obviously, like I just said, then all these different reports coming out, all this craziness. You like, yo, what just happened? And being there, the city, I don't know if you've been. I mean, obviously, we all have. But have you ever been to a funeral where somebody you really, really like, a favorite loved one, like not just like somebody died, like all right, that's somebody we cousins, but I don't really know that. No, I'm talking about somebody you really grandma, whatever. That's how it felt. The whole city felt. And let me tell you, we finally I remember somebody bought a radio, started playing music, and it kind of knocked us out of it. And we was like, all right, we here. Let's work out. Everybody, work out. We pull ups. Callie's doing calisthenics, all this other stuff. Eventually, all that dies down. one of the dudes I met out there, he was like, "Yo, I'm going back to the city, so you want to ride? Cool." I'm like, "I bet." He going back downtown. We riding up. You see people walking for miles. I mean miles. It's like I don't know what's a far point. It's like somebody walking from downtown Philly. Nah. What part of Philly? When I'm coming from 95, and I'm coming up towards the stadium. What part of Philly
Yeah,
is that?
that's South Philly. That's South Philly. So it'll
South
probably
Philly?
be from walking from South Philly to downtown Philly. That's
Yeah.
probably what you're talking about.
Well, I hit that first part of Philly when I'm coming passing Bristol, all that stuff, and I'm talking about people walking for miles just to go to the Staples Center. I'm
Wow.
miles and miles with Kobe jerseys. With they either had purple or they had gold on with Kobe jerseys, just walking for miles just to come to the. They had like a. So I remember that night they either had, I don't know which one that happens at the top of the year, the Grammys or the Emmys or something like that. Whatever the awards, they had the Grammys going on, or the Emmys, whatever going on, and they had Kobe Bryant all in the same day. And so all you saw was people who were super dressed up coming from coming from whatever award show that was, and then you saw everybody else come in walking from miles and miles to go to a vigil in front of the Staples arena,
Staples Center. Yeah.
Staples Center.
You know what I noticed though?
What's up?
Tell you one thing I noticed. A lot of people keep telling me they get Airbnbs around the Staples Center when they in LA.
Yeah.
They always be telling me, I'm like, how y'all be getting these Airbnbs near the Staples Center? Like they be cheap. They be like, no, they do be cheap. I'm telling you, they cheap.
They be fairly cheap, but it don't be like if you going out there like on some solo joint, it don't be like it be like a room. Like that's it. It'd be like it'd be like almost like a hostel. So you ever stayed in a hostel? It's like it's the room by itself, but it's like if you gotta go to the bathroom or something like that, everything's in the hallway. Like if you gotta go take a shower, if you got things, so it's like a shared bathroom. But it's like the room be by itself. But a lot of people be doing that. Like they'll turn like the room I stayed in, it wasn't a real room. It was something else that they turned into a bedroom. I promise you. It just had
we was in another part of LA. We was in what they call the Mexican part of LA. That's what they told me later. I think it's called Santa Ana.
Okay.
Santa Ana, I think we was at.
LA is big. People when they say LA, people don't even, if you ain't been there, people don't understand how big LA is. But go ahead.
It's big, yeah. Besides the and BJ's here. Besides the BS that went on, with the people we met.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I want to go back to LA.
No, LA is a vibe. If you go there and you chill and you meet the right people, you can end up in some shit. I'll be honest with you. I love LA because you can really, really just you can vibe. Every time I go to LA, I make new friends. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. Now I do got to ask you a question though. I gotta ask this question. We've been talking about your podcast for a while, but I gotta ask this question. Man. When did you become a Cowboys fan?
Ooh. I mean, that was easy. I became a Cowboys fan. I want to say, what year did they play the Steelers?
That was like '96. That was their last championship.
Yeah, the year they played the Steelers.
96 or 95? No, 96. 1996. I think it was January 28th, 1996.
Well, what happened was, my stepfather was a Steelers fan. And I didn't like his ass. And I was like, oh, that's your team? All right, I like the other team. I ain't even know shit about football. I was like, I like the other team. It was like number 22. I was like, yeah, I like the other team. And because I ain't know, as this is when I'm just coming into my own with football and sports in general, I didn't really care about sports when I was a little nerd. Like I cared more about cartoons and all this other stuff. I didn't really care about sports and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I'm a Cowboys fan. And, we still had an era of being good, you know what I mean? Because then we go to the what was it? What year we played the Vikings in the what year was that when we played I forgot what year was it? It was I started liking football because I remember I was a Cowboys fan, but Randy Moss, Chris Carter, they had Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, that was on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so I
I
started
think
coming into football like
it was 1998. Like
yeah.
Thanksgiving, 1998.
So those games and stuff like that. But I was still a Cowboys fan. But I started. That's when you start getting that with kids. I call the LeBron thing. When you start liking players, like, nah, I like this player. I like this how that person play, or I like this player. And then I think what cemented football in my mind was when the Rams, even though but when the Rams had Marshall Faulk, and it was just the greatest show on turf and all this other stuff. And I remember that was the first real one of my peoples. I had invited me to a real like when I watched that first Cowboys game, I was at the crib. You know what I mean? I was just like, all right, I like the other team, but it was when the Rams played the Patriots. And then who was who did the Rams beat that first Super Bowl?
The Titans.
The Titans, yeah. That's when I really was like. That's when I really became a football fan. But I was always like, all right. People be like, yo, what's your team? Cowboys. All right. And we still, we was only 4 years removed. So it wasn't hope was still, you know what I mean, thing. But then I just stuck with them. I was like, I'm gonna stick with them because everybody else was everybody else. I used to hate San Fran fans. I used to hate San Fran fans more than I hate Philly and the Giants. I was like, yeah, man.
I was gonna ask you what teams do you hate? I was gonna ask you that.
San Fran used to be like the one. I used to hate T.O. I was like, yo, I hate T.O. Especially when he did on the star and all that stuff. I used to hate T.O. I remember when George T tackled him. I was like, yo, this is something else. But yeah, I just fell in love with the Cowboys. Had love for Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith was my favorite player for a while. I remember first year I played, I was trying to wear number 22. Well, the first year I graduated from that lineman number, I was like, nah, I'm going down to 22. So I graduated from that school of thought, and then we had the bad years. And I was like, I ain't giving up on these teams. Remember, we had like Dave Campo and as the head coach, and I can't remember all the different Chan Gailey. We had a whole bunch of teams. Barry Switzer, like we had so many different.
Barry Switzer got y'all last championship.
Yeah. But
my dad always tell a story of that. And one year I asked him, I was like, why did Jerry Jones get rid of Jimmy Johnson? He said, man, I don't know, man. He gonna say at the press conference, I could get 500 coaches to come coach this team. And he went and got coach number 501, Barry Switzer.
Yeah.
That motherfucker. And I was like, but he won y'all championship.
Right.
He ain't do shit. That's how my dad be.
The team was already on autopilot.
Right.
But I stuck with them, you know what I mean? And then, they you remember Miles Austin? We had him. Yeah, I remember Miles
a lot of Cowboys. My dad's a Cowboys fan. I know a lot of Cowboys.
So I remember, even though I was older, I was 2 years older, because Miles Austin had to be a sophomore when I was a senior. We had this thing like Heroes for Cool Kids mentorship program that was in high school. So we would go talk to the middle school, tell them to do all the right things and all that other stuff. But I remember we had this big mega conference where all the schools came together. And I remember meeting Miles Austin in high school. And it was like
Miles Austin from Jersey?
Yeah. He was from Garfield, New Jersey. And I remember
I ain't hear June say that shit yet. I know it's coming.
Yeah. I remember we was at this conference. It was all the football players huddled up. Everybody started talking greasy to each other. And I remember Miles Austin being the stand in the middle. He's like, you can't guard me. You can't guard me. You can't guard me. You can't guard me. Like everybody was like, yo, like, and then he ended up going to Monmouth, and then ended up getting drafted by the Cowboys. So it's like, you these threads, these storylines, these things,
where is Monmouth at?
Monmouth is basically the Jersey Shore.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so every
so it's down in South Jersey near me. All right.
Nah, It's literally. So I don't know if you know about Jersey, but Jersey is North Jersey, South Jersey, Central Jersey, which I'm in more Central Jersey, and then the shore is its own entity. So it's really like it would take you an hour. It would take you like an hour and a half to get to the Jersey Shore from Philly.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's down there by, it all depends on Atlantic City, Wildwood,
see that's
Seattle.
that's 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 south. That's South Jersey. Jersey Shore is like central. Like it's more central
Oh,
than anything.
my bad. I'm thinking about the wrong spot. My bad.
Yeah, but no, you're not wrong. But you're closer. If you had to go to Atlantic City and then you had to go to where Monmouth is, like you could get to AC in like probably like 45 minutes. Like
Depends on who driving.
yeah, from Philly. If you go to that part of South Jersey where Monmouth is, it's gonna take you an hour and a half.
Okay. All right.
So it just is. But just the threads of the Cowboys. I remember when Bill Parcells came in and he gave us a little hope. And I know B don't like to hear this, but I always say the closest we ever got to sniffing the Super Bowl is when Bill Parcells was there and fucking Tony Romo choke ass. I don't give a fuck.
Butterfingers.
Listen, I always say this. I don't care what nobody say. Tony Romo was an elite athlete with no clutch gene. He had no clutch gene. I don't care what y'all talk about. I was like, when the moment for him to put the dagger in somebody, he always would throw an interception, or always would do some dumb shit, and I would be like, yo. And my thing was, if he wouldn't have fumbled that snap on that field goal that we would have had against the Seahawks, we would have went to the Super Bowl, because I think Bill Parcells had Parcells had enough of his thumb on the pulse of that team that he would have got us there. I'm not gonna say we would have won it, but I promise you we would have got to the Super Bowl, because that's what he does. You know what I mean? He knows how to do. We probably would have been an overachiever. I don't know who played. I forgot who played in the Super Bowl that year. But I know we would have got
it
there.
was the Seahawks and no, I don't think it was the Seahawks and the Steelers. It might have been. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on. But what I am gonna say is the year I think that y'all had the best chance of making the Super Bowl was the year y'all went 13-3 and lost to the Giants in the second round. That to me, that was the best year that y'all had to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No. We had recent ones, but I'm talking about like that early coming out of where we was at. I'm telling you that when we had Parcells that one year when we was, and the thing we had, the advantage we had that I said would have got us to the Super Bowl is, outside of Tony Romo's fumbling ass, the league hadn't caught up to him yet.
Okay.
Once the league catches up to you, it's hard. That's why Peyton Manning was such a workaholic. That's why Tom Brady was such a workaholic. You know what I mean? Despite all the little things that was going on around him, like some of these quarterbacks, once the league catches up to you, you stuck.
Right. Now, I gotta ask the next question.
Go ahead.
Off season is here. You got a new coach. How you feel about it?
Who?
Brian Schottenheimer is your new coach.
Who is Brian Schottenheimer? He's not.
Brian Schottenheimer is Marty Schottenheimer's son.
I know who he is. He sounds like Marty.
This is the only hope I could give Cowboy fans. So Marty Schottenheimer is known for his Marty ball, so you know he's going to run the ball.
Right.
We're hoping Brian does the same thing. I can't guarantee the Cowboys anything. Right. This is all I could do. All right.
Listen, man. You know what's crazy? He sounds just like Marty Schottenheimer, but he don't look like him. I don't know if that's really Marty Schottenheimer's son.
Oh shit! Here we go. Oh man, now he's like 40. You gonna blood test him now? He's 40. Oh shit! Welcome to the side joint, y'all. Welcome to the side joint. It might have been a side piece over there. They just gave him the last name. You know, listen, they used to do that back in the day.
Schottenheimer is the side Jawn son. You know what I mean? Listen, man. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
If if Deion Sanders, if what's his name again? Schottenheimer, what's his name? The son,
Brian.
Brian Schottenheimer
Yeah.
was the coach of Colorado. What do you think Colorado's record would be?
I don't know. I don't know if the Colorado would be that good.
I'm just saying hypothetically, if they would,
I'm gonna tell you why. Deion, with his prestige, is getting those recruits. Deion, with his prestige, got his sons there and got Travis Hunter.
Right.
Like those guys accounted for those wins.
Okay, no,
but Colorado before Deion got there was 1-11.
But this is what I'm saying.
The only thing I can guarantee you is I think he would have won 5 games.
The point I'm trying to make is that if Brian Schottenheimer was the coach of Colorado, nobody would care.
No. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. With coaching college and coaching pro is different.
But what I'm saying is
coaching pro is coaching college is mostly about recruiting and then developing. Coaching pro is getting these guys to believe in your system so much that they want to go out there and win for you.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is I don't even think Deion Sanders would have been the best choice for the Cowboys. You know what I mean?
Well, because technically, the guy that's the best choice for the Cowboys is almost 80. Oh, works at Fox. Name is Jimmy Johnson.
I agree.
That's the guy that's the best choice. Only thing is, if he gets hired, you know damn well he's doing it his way. So
I think
that would be the.
Do you remember when they put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor?
Yeah, that was last year.
Last year.
And everybody said the curse was lifted.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. When he said, "How about them Cowboys?" That shit. I wasn't even a Cowboys fan when he was the coach. But I went out, but I always, once I got into football again, I always went back, did my research, got into it, knew who he was, everything like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. When he said, "How about them Cowboys?" That shit sent chills down my spine because he meant that, and it invigorated the fan base, and it just for like that much of a second, it felt real for a second. What I'm saying to you is that Deion Sanders probably wouldn't have been the best coach for the Cowboys. I agree with that, but you had Al Harris, you had Terry Glenn.
They wasn't making Al Harris.
Huh?
They wasn't making no Al Harris.
No. But I'm just going off the current trends of what you could have had. The player coach right now is popular, right? The one that the player coach. You had Al Harris already in the building. You had Glenn, who was now the head coach of the Jets. You had so many other. I'm be honest with you. I'm not saying I don't know enough about Brian Schottenheimer, but if you put me in a room and you said Brian Schottenheimer or Jason Witten, I would have went with Jason Witten. God damn it, I would have went with Jason Witten because at least I know it's somebody who bled for this team. Played.
What about? Okay, you said the players' coaches is a new trend. What about the player? What about the coach's son? That can't be a new trend.
Who?
Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan.
But Kyle kind of had a proven track record in that Broncos system. He was given the playbook like he I don't know. Shanahan didn't bounce around as much as this Schottenheimer has. Like I think when's the last time Schottenheimer? I mean, he was the Jets offensive coordinator, right? And then he was the Seahawks
when Rex Ryan was there. Then he went to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I mean that's what's going to happen because like I tell everybody, when you go coordinator and your team is hot, you have to strike when the iron's hot. If not, you will go from sugar to shit fast. Okay. Prime example. A couple years ago, during the pandemic, Byron Leftwich was the hottest guy for offensive coordinator.
Right.
Brady left, Brian Leftwich was no longer talked about.
At all.
And I thought he would have been perfect for Jacksonville because he used to play for Jacksonville.
Right.
Play as coach, like you said, is the new trend. I thought it'd been perfect for him.
I'll be honest with you. This is just sidebar. When I was thinking about all the teams that Deion could have went to, I thought Jacksonville would have been the best situation because he would have had an owner who don't care. That Shad Khan don't care about nothing but making money, and it would have been out the way. He would have gave Deion everything he needed. I was like, I'm not saying I'm talking about from a logistical standpoint. Somebody, and he's in Florida, so he would have just upgraded everything in there. But that's a different story for a different day.
No. I think that was a good idea, though. That was good. Now here's my thing, though. Here's my thing.
Right.
All right. Like I said, the NFL offseason. All right. You know, I know you've been watching college football because you watch it like I watch it. Right. So I know there's some pieces out there that you said I would love to have him as a Dallas Cowboy. Who are those pieces?
If we don't do nothing funky in the draft,
no, I'm only talking about the draft. I ain't talking about free agency. I'm only talking about the draft. I ain't talking about free agency.
Yeah, we don't do nothing funky. What I mean funky in the draft is we don't try to move up and well, the Cowboys are notorious for moving down. Be honest with you, the last probably 5-6 years, they moved down. I think the only time they stayed put was when they drafted Wolf Hunter, I think, like that.
Yeah. Van Der Esch. Yeah.
I was there.
Y'all stayed put to get what you call him. Y'all stayed put to get CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, yeah. I was there at the draft when they drafted Van Der Esch. And I remember this is the funniest thing. I remember there's like Kyle Van Der Esch. And I'm in the photo pit, like, you know what I mean, taking pictures. And I just remember, like, you know, at that draft, when they do it at those stadiums, every section has like their team section. So the 49ers section, this section, Cowboys section, and obviously that draft was in Dallas. So I'm there, and everybody, it was like Kyle Van Der Esch, and everybody, it just got quiet. You could have heard a pin drop. It was like, who? It was like, yeah! But it probably got it's like all the air just went out the room when they said Kyle Van Der Esch. And I was like, damn. I was like, it's going to be a long season. Shout out to him. He did decent in his time there. He had a bad highlight.
Your linebackers get injured, so.
Yeah. But all things being equal, if they don't try to do no funky thing, because the only thing I can think them trying to move up and make a splash is if they try to go get Travis, but they got to go give up too much to go up to get him. I would take Ashton Genty, you know what I mean, and pair him with Rico Dowdle. Because I give Rico Dowdle, I gave him shit all year, but he did have 1,000 yards. So I would take him and Genty in the backfield. If we're gonna play Marty ball, and when you think you've heard me talk about this all year, even against Penn State, you know what I mean, he still showed his lateral. I mean, he had a low day like at Penn State in the playoff game, and he still had a buck like 25 or something like that. It was like stopping him was him not getting 200 yards, which is wild. His lateral quickness is legit. Now in that Penn State game, he did show the little bit of the drop seed, so we gotta make sure that he shore that up. But that's not his usual character. And that's the closest look that you'll get to seeing Ashton Genty, and essentially in an NFL style game where the competition is that much more better, and he still is able to give you 100 yards rushing. If we're gonna commit to Marty ball and run the ball, I'm taking Ashton Genty all day. You know what I mean? Or we got to shore up that offensive line, but I don't know I don't think this is a big offensive line draft. So
there's some offensive linemen out there that I think that y'all could get. I don't know if y'all end up with Will Campbell, but there's a guy from Ohio State, and there's another guy from LSU that's on the opposite side of Will Campbell. Yeah. That's pretty good as well. So I can see y'all showing up that offensive line first, and then getting the running back in the later rounds, because the running back this running back class is deep.
Yeah,
So
they got
we'll see how that goes.
it's with the Cowboys. Everything is offensive, defensive line. They gotta find somebody that's gonna plug up that middle because it's crazy. We'll be playing out of this world. As soon as somebody decides to run the ball on the Cowboys, it's like wet tissue paper. Like everybody just go right through that. It's not. I mean, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? And you got to find a number. You got to find a solid number two to go. Now I don't know if this can happen in free agency or in the draft, but you got to find a solid number two to go across from CD Lamb.
Yeah, you do. I agree with that as well. Now, um, I'm gonna try to end this joint. But now people are gonna want to know where to follow House of Boom, how to get in contact with House of Boom, how do they get in contact with you, how do they follow you?
I got 12 Instagram no. So I do it. I try to separate my niches a little bit. So, House of Boom
Okay.
Pot House underscore under blah, House underscore of underscore boom underscore or put add podcast to the end of that, and that's my podcast page. If it's photography, obviously I told you I'm a photojournalist, but I also do events and stuff like that as well. So Boomtown FM, and those are the three that the main joints. Or if you're trying to get in shape, you know what I mean, Boomtown Fitness.
Hometown Fitness, y'all hear it here first. Boom. Now listen, this is the last thing I'm gonna ask you because I'm
Okay.
supposed to start with this, but I didn't even start with this because I was so excited to have you on. So I
Side
had to
joint.
start with this. Boom. How was your week, Boom?
My week outside of Stress You Gram and Stress You Book, you know what I mean. All the news is coming. I swear, like social media. As soon as Trump took over, social media stopped being fun. It's like, damn, I gotta start because you know what happens when you click on something, then that algorithm picks it up. Then they show you more of it, right?
Throw it
Um,
at you. It's
they
like
just like
it's
how
terrible.
I was like, all right, I gotta stop. But overall, my week has been good. Definitely setting up some things. I think it's a blessing that you hit me up. You know, I'm like, yo, you want to come on the show? Like, da, da, da. Like things always happen in trends, right? And so then you'll hit me up. Then somebody else hit me up. Then the next thing you know, I got interviews booked for the next month. You know what I mean? Definitely building, continue to build the House of Bone podcast. I think I have a co-host, which is really dope.
Gotta listen. It is dope to have a co-host.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not 100% there to do a show by myself all the time. I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not that.
And it's good to have a different perspective, a different voice, especially like I said, we know the studio space when you're in there, it's like when you're talking and you're like, all right, cool. But when you have somebody to feedback off of, it's like, all right. So look out for the Nate Russell experience adding. We still figuring out a name for the actual thing because I got my stuff, he got his stuff already. So it's like, all right, what's the overall thing gonna be? But chopping it up with him, so that's good. The last 3 weeks we've been trying to grind out some content. And other than that, what I mean, this week has just been a blessing. Shoot, if you could go to the store and get back home at this point in the time without any issues, that's a blessing, man. And that's all you
Yes, it
can
is.
ask for.
Yes, it is. And like I said, boom, great to have you. This week for me was going pretty good until that accident yesterday. I hope
Hmm.
everybody that went through. I mean, I hope everybody that was in that tragedy, families and friends. I'm praying for all of y'all. Hopefully, y'all get yourselves back together. Um, but something got to give, man. We got to do better, man.
Yeah, we
We
got
got to
to
do
do
better.
it.
You know what I
And
mean? And
I post.
I'm praying for Chocolate Girl. She was supposed to be here today, but she had to go. You know what I mean? Get herself together. We praying for her. We miss her. Can't wait to have her back on.
Yep.
But then again, like I tell everybody, this is the side Joan. She will want the show to go on. When I went on my hiatus, the show had to go on. So it's nothing but
We
love here.
I add
And
something, shout out to anybody who's a flight attendant, a pilot, also people just anybody who has to travel, people who travel for work frequently on flights and stuff, gotta go to Dallas twice a week, twice a month. All these people, shout out to y'all, praying for y'all too, that y'all have safe journeys as well. Because up until probably last week, you probably never thought too crazy. I mean, you get on the plane, you always have that angst, but you probably didn't think too crazy about, this joint might go down. And this week twice.
I just got it. Listen, Boom, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just got into flying 6 years ago.
Okay.
My first flight 6 years ago was to New Orleans.
Okay.
That was my first flight 6 years ago. And I fly on cheap flights. All right. Mm-hmm. That's how much I done like, you know what? I'm flying. I'm going. That's how much I done been into like, well, yeah, I'm flying Spirit. I'm flying Frontier. If I get the ATL for $38, I'm going to ATL $38 round trip. I don't care what nobody talking about. Just me. Everybody else like, oh no, I got to fly Southwest. It got to be American, got to be Delta. You can have whatever you want. I ain't got nothing against you. But don't ask me how I got here so often and so many times. And I'm telling you, I flew for $38. All right. That's just me. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for coming out today, enjoying this morning with us. House of Boom came through. We're gonna have him come on again later on, but he came through, and I definitely got to go sit down. I got to go sit down on the couch with House of Boom. I can't wait to do that. We got to put a time together so I can come through there, sit down on the couch with House of Boom. All right. Yeah, but like I said, God bless y'all.